But I don't think it's going to be fulfilled. Maybe on the end of the show. Paradise by the dashboard.
Oh, I got a special one for later. Daddy! This is gas.
The fighters are ready! Daddy! Daddy is ready! The refs are ready! Are you ready?
Correct exemplar on turn 2, attack you for 7.
Whoa.
We'll see you
Have a
next
good one,
week.
guys. Thank you.
12:30. We'll be back and better than ever.
Oh,
Dab on him. We got a dab on him.
we're the best.
We're going to do our promo in the beginning here. So everyone that's coming in, we're going to do a little promo at the end. I'm going to save the rest of this for later, but that was a great entrance. Welcome to the Weekly Ward, Episode 10, Season 2. We're kicking it. Me and KJ, rocking like we always do.
Same time, same place.
Never a different face. We're ready to start it off.
Well,
We're
unless
going to be...
one of us isn't here and then someone else is here.
Yeah, but that doesn't happen much.
No.
We kind of each want that, but then when it actually happens, then it's
No,
it's
we
not
don't
that
each
good.
want that. I never ever want to run a show. I did, and oh god.
Then you got hit with reality.
It's just hard. It's hard to keep everything flowing.
Yeah,
it's
not
so
a lot
much
of people
easier to
have hair
derail
like this.
everything.
They don't have hair like
It's
this.
so much. I mean, Max Mitchell has great hair, but
He does have
he was
great
in
hair.
my spot. I was like, you're doing the color commentary. You're gonna go in on everything, and I'm just gonna rev you up and let you go, and you're gonna go off into the dark night. It's gonna be great.
Holy cow!
And he did, and we had a good time.
Yeah. All right. So this week we're gonna go over we're gonna dissect the MOCS Tournament, talk about a bunch of the decks in there, give Raptor just insane back to back.
Did you listen to Jerry and to Game this past week?
I listened to it last week when Raptor did that's Game.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
He was like, they're like, oh, Raptors here prepping for the MOCS, playing a terrible game called Dream Quest.
Yep.
And apparently that's how he won the MOCS. So everybody, I guess, should download Dream Quest or whatever it is.
If you want to win a Premier Magic Tournament, download Dream Quest.
Raptor great.
We're going to get into a cool topic called Almost Famous. I guess we'll...
Oh, it'll be fun. After the MOCS review, we're going to talk about some funny stuff.
Yeah. And then there's a bunch of things going on this weekend, and we're going to kind of talk a little bit about it. We've got Grand Prix New Jersey, Grand Prix Barcelona. There's also SCG Dallas, which is modern.
Ooh, dogs are contagious.
There is going to be a bunch of stuff going on, and we'll kind of talk into a couple of those topics and maybe answer a few questions in the chat.
It's the 2017 launch for Team Metagame Gurus.
Ooh,
It's this weekend.
This weekend.
And they've been, on Twitter, they've been leaking,
Who
blacked
spoiled?
out silhouettes.
Who spoiled? Just Jim?
Just Jim so far.
Okay.
But they've been leaking blacked out silhouettes and going, when this person, and then trivia to see if you can guess who they are.
Are they going to Dallas this weekend, or are they going to be in Jersey?
There's 6 of them, and they're doing 3 and 3.
Oh, interesting. Okay. See if they can pull a Channel Fireball like Denver did with Raptor and Vancouver, and then the team winning the.
Oh yeah,
SCG,
sure.
so they're gonna split the difference.
Kind of like that, except
Okay.
you can't win if you lose to Daddy.
Well, we know one person who's not losing to Daddy this weekend, and that's me.
First
It's gonna be
open,
great.
first open of 2017. You went with us, swag bus, etc. Went to Columbus. Round 1, I play nice gentleman who gets land screwed. Sucks for him, whatever. But I won. Round 2 or round 3, I mean, had to buy round 1. I play Jim.
I was there. I saw it.
A little bit ego flexing going on, and I
Cloud
crushed him.
Blazer.
And I crushed him, and I messaged the founder of MGG, and I was like, I just crushed Jim. Give me my spot back. And he was like, no. And I was like, all right, fine. It was great. It was really funny.
I like how you're not totally serious, but still kind of serious
Yeah, I'm
with that statement.
like 60% serious.
Yeah, and it's just like, what would happen if he actually responded like, okay, and then you were like, no, I don't want to anyway.
Like, no, I can't take the responsibility. It's crushing me. I have to be here at
man.
12:30 on Wednesdays. It's already too much.
Jesus. Andre, thanks for hosting. Let's get right into it. Boom. We're talking about Raptor. There he is, soon to be. Ooh.
Somebody just
another
donated?
host. We're getting hosted with the
Oh,
most.
Scott's hosting us.
And if there was a donation,
That's
that'd be
good because
awesome.
nobody watches Scott's stream anyway.
Ooh, shade at Richter Shade. I like it.
Throwing the
Score!
Richter shade.
All right. You know when I see Richter Shade, I kind of think of Mike Richter, I think his name was. He's a Rangers player. Hockey?
Could have been.
Yeah. Anyway.
Speaking of hockey, we'll get theirs later, which is funny. But yeah.
You see how I'm like doing the
Yeah,
thing
that was
with
a
the
good
thing?
segue.
Two daddies,
Too bad
one
we're not
stream.
segueing for 20 minutes.
Dan is my dad. Holy cow. Okay, so Jesus, utter perfection. What a perfect line for this.
Yeah, very, very good.
Just insane. We'll get into give the top 4 because they didn't have the top 8. But we got Josh Utterlate in first place, Lucas Blohan, Ryosuke Arase, and Marcio Carvalho. Jeez.
Marcio consistently takes pictures.
Number
where he
1 in the
looks like
world.
the cover of a romance novel from like Walmart.
This is true. Number 1 in the world. He's
Yeah.
ranked number 1 in the world now.
Dude, he's on fire.
He is just cannot be stopped.
Did you catch Ryosuke Arase's quote?
No, I didn't.
He said something to the tune, to paraphrase him, I like Magic because no matter who you're playing against, a grizzly bear is always a 2/2, and a lightning bolt always does 3 damage. So I'm gonna play that's what he said. It's like translated or whatever.
Sure.
But he said a lightning bolt always does 3 damage. Grizzly bear is always a 2/2, no matter who your opponent is.
Jeez.
And just showed that monster star-studded top 4 with him.
Yeah.
He just played Magic.
I mean,
He wasn't afraid.
Let's be real. This
Awesome.
was the most stacked MOCS ever.
Yeah, I think
And
so.
and
What
not
was
to
last year?
not to take away anything from Marcio because he's been obviously crushing it. But there were 6 people that were tied for the same record, and Marcio got in on breakers.
Oh wow.
Bolivo came in 5th place. Ben White's. There was a bunch of players that were at 8-6, and so this was like one of the more large groupings of same record we've ever seen before.
This happens all the time in these tournaments because they're weird. Their structure is weird.
Yeah, I don't like before we get into the results, I want to talk about the structure. I'm not happy with the structure. I feel like 3 rounds, a draft is fine, standard's fine, a draft is fine, should be another format.
No, it should be standard draft.
I don't think so. And I also think
Why
that
do you
they
want
could
us to
add
want more formats? Why do you want people qualifying for the Pro Tour by winning a bunch of rounds of Modern?
because
never
you
getting
can
to play Modern
qualify.
on the Pro
You
Tour?
can qualify that way on Moto. You can qualify from a modern PPTQ
Are there
into
modern-
a modern RPTQ. Yeah.
PPTQ? Are there even
Yeah.
Modern RPTQ still? I don't think there will be. I don't think there will be in...
Oh, hey, Jake, what's going on? Variant Style, what's happening? Yeah, I don't know. I feel like there should be another format, or there should be more rounds. The fact that 6 people tied for the same record, and we're talking that Platinum's on the line here, like, forget
Yeah.
the fact that Josh Utter-Layton just won the last Grand Prix in Vancouver, and now he's locked for the PT, and yeah, he's going to get the Hall of Fame. It's just a matter of, when, not how, for him. But I mean, 14 rounds, like, that's not even a Grand Prix. And we're talking about the championship of the year. This is like Worlds for online. And I just feel like when you have a grouping of this, I don't want to be results-based thinking that this year there was a grouping at the 8-6. But like even throwing an extra round into each of the standards,
Yeah.
I think the more Magic played, and one of the things that I really liked about this
There was
tournament...
4 rounds of Standard on each day, right?
Yeah.
So, okay. So, yeah, you could do more, but then it becomes weird, like people overlap and play each other again and blah, blah, blah.
Maybe.
Which is bad, I think.
Sure.
You also
But
don't
I'd
want
rather
someone
see-
to top 8 because they beat the same person twice.
I'd rather see more Magic played. Like I totally agreed with what they did in the top 4. I thought it was excellent. The best of 3 matches. We got to see a lot of high-level Magic.
Yeah, that was really cool.
And there wasn't like, okay, this guy got land
The coverage
screwed.
was amazing.
It was.
It was a Maria from Magic the Amateuring. She's great.
Yeah.
And all the regular coverage team. And Dave Williams hopping in there with his fresh haircut. And Pat Sullivan in there.
Dude,
Like,
I was
I
a
may or may
little-
not be wearing shoes right now or whatever he said.
I was a little disappointed because the ship came out and we didn't hear. And I don't know if it was because he wasn't with Cedric, and that's like a him and Cedric thing. But I was really looking forward to The boat. Every time the boat comes out, it just needs to happen.
When Todd Anderson boated me into utter oblivion at the PC this past December, they were just like, is that a boat noise? Yup. It's like, man.
Yeah, they did talk about that. There's going to be 24 people for the MOCS next year.
Ooh, another host.
Thanks a lot,
That's Alex Chen. They're the Bearded Dragon, the guys who I did coverage for a few weeks ago. That he's from down there.
Appreciate it. So we're going to be having, obviously, the returning champion. There's going to be ones off the leaderboard. There's going to be 8 winners from the Open. And I'm not sure on exactly all of them. But I do think, like, widening the field is good. It's kind of weird. They're expanding the field on this tournament. And I guess not shortening the field on Worlds, but taking away the random qualification methods and going to just the leaderboard.
What do you mean random qualification methods?
You know, like Brian Braun-Nguyen, the champion. He qualified because he was a Grand Prix master.
I don't call that random at all. It's
I
the
don't call
opposite
it
of
either.
random.
I love it. But I'm saying he wouldn't have been in Worlds if it wasn't for that.
Yeah, but you called it random, which is just
Well, it
a
is
weird
random.
word.
There's a lot of one-shot things you're in.
Yeah, I'm just not using that word there, but whatever. We're good. Just keep going.
Okay.
It's a weird thing
It's
to argue
random.
about.
I mean, you have it one year and then you take it away. Like, it obviously...
It's random that they got rid of it.
Yeah, that's
but
what-
it's
that's-
not random at all. It's the opposite of random. You literally have to go to 60 Grand Prix. It's the opposite of random. It's
No, I mean,
literally
it's
rewarding
random.
consistency.
Sure, but it's not random in the sense of obviously you have to play a lot of tournaments, but it's random in the sense of there's all these other ways to qualify that have nothing to do with that.
Yes,
It's the
sure.
only way you can
It's
qualify
the outlier.
by being like
Yes.
the most.
Not the one
The
that
hardest
involves
worker.
not winning.
Yeah.
Not winning,
Well, he won.
a
but,
major
I mean,
tournament.
Yeah.
Winning first place in a major tournament.
Yeah, or having the most pro points. Okay.
Yeah.
So now let's get into the decks. It's kind of hilarious because you brought this up yesterday on how out of the top 4 decks, 2 of the players are playing the deck you're playing right now.
And 2 of the players are playing the deck that you're playing right now.
Yeah. And so one of us is right. Maybe 2 of us are right.
Maybe we're both right.
Both right.
Or maybe we're both wrong.
Maybe they were right for this tournament and not right for standard, as in this weekend.
I like this Ryusuke Arase guy. I really hope that it's good for him. I hope he gets a PT qualification, right?
I'm not sure. Top 4, I think, does.
I think so.
So
So I really hope that it catapults him because his quote was cool and he impressed me.
apparently Jake was saying that it was somebody else's quote that he just said.
Oh, well, whatever.
But still cool quote. All right, so let's break down Lucas Blohan's deck first. This is something that's kind of close to you. I know you're running a very similar list.
Yeah, I've been playing this exact 60 at the moment.
Okay.
I
and
managed to destroy the sideboard by putting a bunch of weird cards in it, but
Sure. What do you think is, I guess, to everyone that's watching, what do you think is the biggest weakness and the biggest selling point on this deck?
biggest selling point is, well, in my opinion, is that you can spend your mana very well. That you can, you have very strong plays like turn 3 to turn 5 or so,
Okay.
and then you can apply pressure with Whirler Virtuoso and Rogue Refiners and Chandra without ever having to go for the combo.
Okay.
So it's a great deck in that it forces your opponent to play in a very, very strange way, and it forces your opponent to build their deck in a very, very unintuitive, unnatural way.
Okay.
So that's why I like B Goose in the chat. B Goose.
Be good.
I like B Goose. Ever since the one time I was like, "Hey, B Goose," and he showed up. It was great. Now I'm a fan. But anyway, that was the greatest thing ever too. You weren't there for it, unfortunately, but it
I was
great.
there. I was
you
in
were
Seattle watching it.
You were watching. You're always watching me. It's like when I'm putting cards away. You're just around the corner, just watching me, and you're
It's
like,
true. It's true.
"What are you doing on your phone?" I'm like, "Changing podcast, man. Leave me alone. I'm working." Whatever. Anyway,
Derailed.
all right. I said so much easier to derail the show than to run the show. But anyway, yeah, very good proactive deck. It's able to. I like the 7 answers to Snake. I think 6 or 7 are both defensible. I think that this deck's really good against black-green. I think that the value creatures are great. I think that the trackers in the sideboard are really, really good for a lot of things. I watched some, I don't know if you know who Jesse Hampton is, right?
I do.
I watched Jesse Hampton streaming it. It was archived, but I watched it last night, but he streamed it, earlier. But I was watching him stream, and he was playing against Mardu and doing some very interesting things. He was boarding in trackers, like being a little bit more aggressive. And
Okay.
it's pretty interesting. I think that you leave up mana to deal with things like Heart of Kiran a lot. And if you're boarding in negates and dispels, it makes sense to leave up mana too. So I kind of like the trackers
Yeah.
because they let you do something with your mana. And it's important in a deck with as powerful sorcery speed spells as this deck has, not to waste mana when you can't spend it other ways. You know, because the opportunity cost of leaving untapped mana is really high when you could have played a Planeswalker or Whirler or a Guardian or something like that.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like being able to have to hold up a Harness Lightning or a negate on the threat of the Heart of Kiran or a Gideon slamming, and not being able to advance your board. The problem I find with this deck is kind of why the rock paper scissors meta right now is Mardu can get underneath it pretty
Biggest
well.
weaknesses to this deck are, you know, the turn or the triple 1-drop start from Mardu, which is rare, honestly, because there's only 8 of them or whatever.
Have you seen Jerry's new list? He's playing Inventor's Apprentice.
He's playing Mardu now? He's off
He's
of
on
4
red,
color?
white, and just splashing black for unlicensed. It was a deck that he posted on Twitter.
Okay.
So I guess that's something to be prepared for if you are going to play 4-color this weekend.
Sure.
That people understand that people are responding to
You
what
move
happened at the
towards-
MOCS, and now we're adding more 1-drops.
You move towards, like, Radiant Flames or something, maybe?
Say again?
Radiant Flames or something like that, maybe?
Maybe. That's the hardest thing is because with Black Green and with Mardu, I feel, as like you talk about this deck being like kind of like a lucid deck, right? It flows and you can change the way you're doing stuff throughout the game. You can turn the switch on to be aggressive, you can turn the switch on to be controlling and be a little defensive to set your combo up.
It's very flexible.
The problem right now is that the Black-Green deck has 3 different variants, and they're all doing different things in the sideboard.
Yeah, there's an
and now
aggressive one.
Mardu, Mardu is almost the same thing. It's morphed into 2 or 3 different decks, and you have Mardus that are going smaller. You have Mardu sideboard plans that are going bigger. You have certain Mardu decks that are not trying to go bigger, but just changing a few cards to be able to fight certain things. And we'll kind of get into the differences.
This 4-color Saheeli deck is a lot like... It's a lot like... Did you ever play Kiki Pod?
Okay.
You ever remember that deck? It was like a Birthing Pod deck, but it wasn't the Malira one. It was like Kiki Jiki Restoration Angel, Court of Calling.
Yeah, I remember.
Max Brown's deck from those PDQs back in the day. This deck reminds me of that deck a lot. Value creatures, some good removal spells, an infinite combo that they can threaten pretty much way earlier than you should be allowed to threaten it. As early as turn 4, and then as early as, I guess, turn 5 reasonably with none of the pieces in play, just a Servant.
Sure.
Or even turn 4 if you have double Servant, or Servant plus Chandra. Because you can flicker your Chandra, or your Chandra adds you 2 mana or whatever, so you get 7 mana that way. But anyway, it's really, really good deck, so I think I'm probably going to play this weekend. It's very hard to play, though. That's what everybody's been asking me. People have been... Sorry, this has been kind of a monologue, but you did tell me to talk about it, so I'll do the best I can.
You're good.
People have been saying, hey, what are you going to play in New York? Hey, what are you playing this weekend? I'm kind of lost in Standard, blah, blah, blah. A lot of messages in that regard, and I answered people the best I could. I said, I really like 4-color, but I think you got to play a lot of games. Then you got to jam, and then you got to play so many games with the list to understand why the sideboard is the way it is and all those things.
Sure.
And, like, I would have never thought to board in Tracker against Mardu, but I think that the games do grind a little bit, and you need to make sure that when you live, you win. And then threats that are big enough to kill Gideon on their own are really important too, as I think 2 of the weakest spots of this deck are Heart of Kiran and Gideon.
Okay.
So I think that it is kind of a revolving door metagame with Black, Green, Mardu, and 4-color.
Yeah.
As the other things have been kind of pushed out, and I think that like the Temur Tower deck is, just not as good as the other 3 decks.
Yeah, I agree.
Jeskai is not as good, sadly, as the other 3 decks. Although there's a part of me just in the background just pulling. It's just this little voice, right? And it's on my shoulder, and it says, "Play Jeskai. You can't win with anything else. Play Jeskai."
It's not good.
It's not good.
It's not good. Tier 2.
I might do okay anyway.
So I think it's like a 3-deck meta. We talked about the 3 decks. I think that Jeskai, Temur Tower, those decks, even Pummeler, regards to that, Black-White Control, these are all Tier 2 decks that can be tuned pretty good. Like, you can tune them to do well, and I honestly think one of the decks that, like, people kind of aren't talking about right now that will do well this weekend is Marvel.
Okay.
I think people are so honed in to what happened at the MOCS, what happened in the previous tournaments, that you're looking at the list and we're seeing like all release the gremlins. We're not seeing transgresses. We're not seeing fragmentizes. We're not seeing the cards that punish.
There's less
that.
negates.
Yeah.
We're not seeing.
So with the control decks, like the counterspell decks, kind of going away.
Oh, we're seeing natural states. Sorry, but that's
Yeah.
that's good for Marvel too.
Yeah, even obsolescence is okay. Like it's not bad. If you're playing against like a deck that has that in their deck, there's only one deck that you have to worry about that, and that's black-green, because you have to fight the natural obsolescence transgress. Which one do they draw? And usually people only play one obsolescence, so you can just jam it, and if they have it, they have it. The math, dictates that you should put it into play because they have more transgresses than they would have obsolescence.
The 4-color decks have been moving away from Deep Fiend and toward Chandra.
Yeah,
which
I think that's correct.
Is correct, but also is worse for your Marvel matchup.
Yeah,
as you have almost no
But
interaction with
but
Marvel.
this is what I'm I guess saying for this weekend. No one cares about the Marvel matchup.
No, not at all.
There's no ceremonious rejections. There's negates. Like your deck has negates, sure, but that's
the only
overlap.
sideboard cards for it are splash damage sideboard cards.
Exactly.
Natural obsolescence, negate, and the occasional something weird like decommission or something like that you might see.
I felt really good at the RPTQ with my deck, and things didn't go the way I would have liked them to go. And this weekend, there would be a chance I would consider playing the Marvel deck if I didn't spend as much time on this Mardu list. So I think for this weekend, I'm going to show up with some Mardu vehicles and try to just run people over sometimes. And a good segue right into Josh Utter-Layton's deck here. This
Ballista.
This is pretty close to what I'm going to play, minus a few things. I'm not a fan of the Aethersphere Harvesters.
Card is a jam.
I'm also not a fan of 23 lands.
Especially 24?
I like 24, and I like the 25th on the sideboard.
Oh, wow, okay.
I think you're going to be going into a plan that's consisting of Planeswalkers, and the deck is kind of mana hungry between being able to activate the man lands, sacrificing the clues, walking Ballista, and the fact that you just have, this deck right here has 4 Gideons, right? You want to play that card on turn 4.
I think I figured out how to board against Mardu now.
Oh, yeah? After the Savage beating?
After the Savage beating you
Yesterday?
administered to me yesterday. I think gotta bring in some negates.
That's
bring in
true.
some dispels. Bring in some trackers. And
Every time you had the boat, I beat you.
it was great. The boat was great.
But I beat you every time you had the
Not
boat.
every time. I won one time.
I don't think so. I think the boat got docked because it's still cold here. Yeah, Dylan. For the first time ever, I think I'm gonna play that, and that's the exact response I got from Thiago this morning. I messaged him.
Can I
And
not
Thiago
stop?
Goes,
Can I just do it over and over? It's so
he
much
goes,
fun.
"You're not gonna play that bad deck," and I said, "Yeah, I am." But
About
the
Mardu?
things, about Mardu.
What does he want to play?
He's not playing this weekend.
He's not going?
Where would he go? He's in Brazil. Is
He was
go
gonna
to
come
Barcelona?
here.
No, he's not coming.
Originally, he was going to come here and hang out with you, right?
Yeah, but he decided to play Pittsburgh instead.
Okay, I
So
saw him
he
there.
switched out.
Bolivo!
Bolovo, shout
I
out.
like him. He's a cool
Thiago,
guy.
5th place finisher.
He always smiles at me. I think he forgot my name because he never says hi, Kevin. He just smiles at me.
That's funny. He's great. So
My name's on my sweatshirt. How hard is it? But whatever.
Yeah. Getting to this deck though, I think this is a real solid choice for this weekend. A lot of the things that you said basically held true to me. I had a lot of friends messaging me, a lot of people that are getting ready for both tournaments. Hey, Dan? What's the deck? What's going on? I usually like to brew things up, and I would be playing Marvel this weekend if it wasn't for the fact that I just don't want to draw 2 Ulamogs. It was kind of between Pittsburgh. I played black-white, but between Pittsburgh and the RPTQ, things didn't go too well with those deck choices. So I'm going to kind of just phone it in, so to speak. I put a lot of time into working on the sideboard with Sebastian Pozo. He did really well with Mardu vehicles on the standard championships last weekend, as well as Marcio obviously came in 4th in this tournament, so he has a lot to take stuff away from Daddy. Touching my Squirtle, man.
I thought I was supposed to touch
No one
stuff
touches
so I
my
didn't
Squirtle.
Pick my nose or
No
put
one touches my
hands
Squirtle.
where they don't belong.
So, besides the Aether Harvesters, I really like this list. I'm playing a couple different things. The Ballistas are great. The 2 Thalia, I think, is definitely a must. However, moving forward, I kind of like Avacyn in the main. I'm running one. And I also think 24th Land is definitely a necessity.
Just cut the Aether Harvesters, you're just going to lose to, like, the Mirror.
I don't think so.
Aether Harvester is so good.
It's such a liability after game 1, though. Because you got to think about it.
Yeah, no, you board it
After
out,
your
but
game
you won
one,
game 1.
Sure, but after game 1, a lot of matchups, you're sideboarding out the Toolcraft Exemplar as well. And your 3 slot, you just can't afford to be tapping out turn 3 sometimes versus that's not for like progressing the board dramatically.
But you still have a bunch of things that crew it, right? Ballista crews it.
Yeah, you got a few things that crew it.
All your 1-drops that are left in your deck in Thraben Inspector crew it. All your 2-drops that are left in your deck in Scrounger and Ballista crew it.
Yeah, I think Pia Nalar is kind of a trap. I think it doesn't really line up well versus either Refiner or Whirler Virtuoso. And
it makes Kozilek's return better.
Yeah, it makes Kozilek's return better.
Which is minimally relevant, but eventually I think we'll play Release Main. Someone in the chat mentioned that. I think that people can get away with main decking 1 release. Some people are probably already doing it. Like from Team or Tower or something like that.
I just mean even with this sideboard configuration, you don't want game 1, game 2 versus the Mirror. You don't want Toolcraft Exemplar. If you're on the draw, you don't really want Scrap Heap Scavenger, and like you're gonna end up keeping in Harvester, which helps their Release the Gremlins plan.
I think you board out Harvester.
But what are you bringing in? You bring in 3 Release the Gremlins, and what else?
Avacyn.
Sure, there's 4 cards. Yeah.
I don't know. Anguish Unmaking, maybe?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe.
Nahiri?
Nahiri's okay, but I mean, these cards aren't like... You're still running a 23 land deck.
You're only taking out Exemplars and Harvesters, right?
If you're on the draw, I think you're taking out Scrap Heap Scavenger.
Then you don't have room to put all these things in.
Yeah. Well, just from the
Painful
Toolcraft
Truths,
Exemplar
maybe?
and 3 Harvesters, we're talking 7 cards.
Painful Truths, maybe?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I don't know if that's great either. If it turns into super grindy, yeah, you're right. But sometimes you just die. You just tap out for Painful Truths, and they slam Gideon, and the game's over.
I think you could keep your red oaths, or bring in your red oath to like try to pressure their planeswalkers a little bit. I was using my red oaths to pressure your Gideon, and I mean, I just died anyway most of the time, but I killed a couple Gideons that way, which was cool.
Sure, but it's kind of like, I don't really like that plan.
The chat
because
is aggro. You're all forgetting Painful Truths. Painful Truths, Painful Truths. It's grindy. Turns and puts Painful Truths. Everyone thinks you're supposed to board it.
Yeah, but like I just said, you tap out for Painful Truths, they play Gideon, you just lose.
Yeah, sure, but I think you want to cast it on like turn 7, not turn 4. Or turn 3.
Maybe. I don't know how grindy it gets. It really depends, and
I
this
also
is like...
think on turn 3 it's much better on the play than it is on the draw.
Yeah, I guess it really depends on what configuration. Like, Josh obviously won the tournament, so his choices, did him well this weekend. However, moving forward, like, I'm doing something different than what's going on here, and I have a feeling that there's going to be 3 or 4 different variations of Mardu sideboards. We saw what took over GP Udrich with all of the oaths, all of the planeswalkers, and just 4 Release the Gremlins, not messing around. People playing black-green and other decks are keen to that now. Like, hey, we're going to expect Oath of Chandra, we're going to expect Oath of Liliana and some more planeswalkers, so we're going to be prepared to go big. And I think that's definitely something that needs to be taken into consideration. Why are there no boats in
the sideboard?
It's a 5-mana spell, and you're playing 23 lands. So I think if he had 24 to 25, he could consider that.
Seems really good against other Mardu decks, and probably okay against black-green as well.
No, are you killing Gideon with 3 mana on their turn? Maybe.
Yeah, like if you have a heart, you can tap out for Painful Truths because you can like crew heart or disintegrate or whatever. Like you can.
Yeah, well, we could go into scenarios here, but you don't know what they have on the other side of the board either. I mean, they could have a heart too, and then play Gideon. And
then you're in.
Yeah, you're in dire straits. I'm not getting in. I'm not like talking about that, but I mean.
Ballista.
I don't know. I don't really like Boat as much, and I guess we'll pull up Marcio's list because he had Boat. He had 2 boats, in fact. Marcio's more of a straightforward, like, very similar list to what he finals the Pro Tour. We're talking old school Toolcraft Exemplar, Thraben Inspector, and the Motorist. We even got a Cultivator's Caravan. I like this list a lot. However, feel like it is definitely weaker to Ballista. And I think a lot of the Mardu matchups that he played this weekend, if there was a lot of
So did
mirrors.
Marcio play Blohan in top 4? Yeah, right.
Yeah, he lost to Blohan.
Which makes sense because there's not ballistas in his
In the
main
main
deck.
deck. So all the game ones are hurting. And even after sideboard, he only has 2. In fact, he doesn't even have the Thalia's main deck. So game 1, I think this matchup is actually super close.
Pretty good for 4-color.
Yeah.
Or close, yeah.
Yeah, so...
I think Ballista and Avacyn makes sense, and no Ballista boat makes sense. Yeah, I like that.
I don't mind the boat, but like I said, it is a thing that like you're going to be casting the boat, and then you're expecting every deck to have at least 2 to 3 to maybe even 4 release the gremlins, and that is a thing. Like there is a lot of artifacts, so you kind of have to like decide which ones you're going to play because you're not going to be taking out all your artifacts. You need like your mana to work. We're talking with Spire of Industry. We're talking about having, besides just clues in play so that your other cards are effective. We want to be able to get 3 points of damage off the unlicensed disintegrations, things of that nature. So I do think it's interesting how diverse these sideboards are between Marcio and Josh Utter-Layton's lists. We're talking about like shocks in the sideboard. We're talking Skywaller shot, another Caravan, and just some more tech to play against the 4-color matchup. So, pro cons for Motorist versus Ballista. I think Motorist is a better game 1 card in general.
I think Ballista's a better game 1 card. I think Ballista's a better card overall, and I think if other people start playing Ballista, I'd rather have Ballista than Motorist. That makes sense.
Yeah, I agree, but I do think versus the field, Veteran Motorist is still a great game 1 card, however, with an asterisk pointed at the mana. The mana is very hard on this deck. I kind of like Marcio's mana base better than a lot of the ones I've seen. I think it's a real trap to play 4 Aether Hub. I think a lot of people have fell victim to that, and they just like have these hands with like a Plains and an Aether Hub. They use their energy, and then they just lose.
So you think it's a great game 1 card, except it makes it so you can't cast any of your spells, and it's bad against all the other ballistas, and it's bad.
It's
against
bad versus Mardu Ballista, obviously, but this is the thing.
It's bad versus Black Green too.
I don't agree. I think it's fine versus.
They have
them.
Ballista.
Sure, it's obviously not good versus Ballista, but if they Ballista on turn 2 and trade, it's not the worst thing. You got to scry out of it.
Like
now,
2
if they
of the decks have Ballista, and the one that doesn't have Ballista has Whirl of Virtuoso.
Sure.
Motorist is just not good right now.
Well, it's obviously decent. We're talking about a deck that made the top 2 of the Pro Tour, and also came back and did well at the MOCS
before it evolved.
Sure, but look at the MOCS. This is top 4.
I think Ballista is the better choice for Mardu vehicles.
Yeah,
that's my opinion. Hey, I'm just one guy. I only have a sweatshirt with my name on it. I don't even have that many followers on Twitter. What the hell do I know?
Sure. You don't play in the deck,
but
that's
my
what I'm trying to tell you.
I
agree. I'm playing Ballista. But I'm telling you, Veteran Motorist is still a good choice.
It's a good card. I just don't want to destroy my mana base that way.
Yeah, well, the mana's not great, in particular with this deck. That's one of the downsides of playing this deck. It doesn't have a Tune with Aether, which a lot of the decks in Standard are really utilizing right now to fix
the Aether Hub decks without a Tune with Aether have, like, kind of a problem in casting their spells a lot of the time. They have to gamble and hope their Motorist gets them there.
Yeah, but also the scry, you're not taking into consideration the scry. And as there's going to be games where, like they have...
No, I am. I'm saying that they spend one of their 2, like their Aether Hub either shuts them off of white or shuts them off of red, and then they have to hope the scry finds the other one.
Sure. I also feel that, like, with Ballista, it is a better card in the sense of stopping the combo to the 4th to 6th turn. However, like you just talked about, or like the nut draw of going like the turn 1 Toolcraft, turn 2 Hardicaran, turn 3 being able to play this Motorist is like extremely important in a deck like this because it allows you to get to the threat that stops the combo. And I think that's not taken into consideration as much.
Also, it puts a ton of pressure on their Harness Lightning, and they need to have it that turn. There's obviously some draws to both cards. Like it's not like a blowout or whatever, but I think that I would prefer Ballista by a considerable margin. I also think that that's Conan Hawk is Eric Hawkins, by the way. I think that
Sure, what up?
His argument is kind of flawed because I think that Ballista is also flood insurance.
It is and it isn't.
In a
Like
lot of ways.
I've played it on turn 2 and it feels so bad.
Sure.
And then I played it on
Zach Canner's hosting us too.
Yeah, I see that. And then thanks, Zach. And I also there's been lots of games where you put it on 2 and then you have 4 mana up, and guess what? You just never put a counter on it because you always have something to play.
That's good. That's a good problem to have.
Yeah, it is a good problem to have, but in the sense of the argument of this versus this, I think what Eric is trying to say in here, and what I don't think you're really alluding to, is that in a metagame that has lots of Heart of Kirans, having a 5/5 Heart of Kiran is kind of a big deal.
Oh, it is a very big deal.
And being able to take out planeswalkers like Chandra after they uptick, the extra +1/+1 is huge. And I just think the disparity is too much.
I hate Heart of Kiran.
Yeah?
I think it's stupid. I think it's oppressive. I don't understand how it is anything different than Smuggler's Copter.
You gotta have heart, man.
I think it's obviously worse than Smuggler's Copter, but it's just so absurdly powerful in the games where it's good.
But do you think this? Do you think that a deck like Mardu Vehicles would even exist if Heart of Kiran wasn't in the meta? Or do you think 4-color would just be the best?
It would just be Smuggler's
No, if they banned Smuggler's Copter and never printed Heart of Kiran.
Would this deck exist? Probably. Be a little slower.
Yeah, but it would be tier 3.
No, it'd be like Planeswalkers and Aethersphere Harvesters and stuff.
Okay. It'd be a lot slower.
It'd be a lot different.
I wouldn't like it.
They don't know how to custom. You know what the thing is about all the best vehicles? They all have flying. They all have flying, and they're all way, way, way too good. Boat costs 5, so it's not way, way, way too good. But even Boat is
Jesus. Jesus. Oh, man.
I love this job. I love it so much.
He's going to get fired after this show.
Probably not. Maybe next week.
So I'm just
gonna do this on my own if I ever got fired. I would just.
Kevin, let's be honest. You can't even brush your teeth on your own.
I could.
You could. See, you didn't even see it. It's a I could, not a I do. This is what I'm talking about. This is what
you only have so much time in your life.
It's crazy. Trust me. I know. Time is.
I brush my teeth with a bagel.
Okay. And cream cheese.
Yeah. Red Bull.
Just wanted to throw the shout outs as well to the other 8 and 6 players and just to the entire field for being awesome. We have Diago Saporito, Lucas, what is that, Duchow?
Lucas Duchow.
Duchow,
yeah. Piotr Glogowski.
Benny.
Ben White.
The Professor.
Is that what they call him?
Yeah, that's what I call him.
Ansi Alkio.
Okay.
Was a Splinter Twin wizard.
Sure.
Shot to the PT before.
He played Marvel.
He did, really?
Yeah.
Teamer Marvel?
Yeah,
yep.
Teamer Marvel.
Li Shitian.
Simon Nielsen, BBD, Simon Krozanov.
Li Shitian is a very good Magic player, but his Twitter handle makes him sound like a 16-year-old emo kid.
Owen Turtenwald and Jacob Wilson.
There's a powerful wizard.
Niels Norlander. So congratulations. I know some of these guys didn't finish the way that they would have liked to, but all in all, we'll see a lot of these names again very soon. And I know you're big on Ryosuke Arase.
Yeah, I just want him. I hope his star was born this weekend. He's great.
Star is Born. That is great. That's a movie, A Star is Born.
Is it?
Yeah, Barbra Streisand.
Okay.
Old school. It hit you with the
Barbra
knowledge right there. Are you doing the Barbra Streisand dance? Oh my God, jeez. All right, so because Kevin has such a large head today and always,
we can segue right into.
We're gonna feed into his ego a little bit.
But first, we're gonna talk about hockey, right?
You want to talk about hockey? Oh, hockey. Yeah, let's talk about hockey.
So for those of you guys who don't know, who are international or just don't care about hockey, which is defensible. Haha, Jim. Too bad. You're probably not watching this. Oh well. Anyway, that was great.
He left as soon as you reminded him that he lost to you.
Yeah, that was funny. He left. He just needed to go, stoke the ego a little bit. Yes, exactly. Thank you. So what happened is there's an expansion team in the National Hockey League. The Las Vegas Golden Knights are going to be a team, I believe, next year.
Okay. In
the National Hockey League in the U.S. and Canada, North America, whatever. So in accordance with that, they need to pick up people. They need to draft or sign or whatever you want to call it, players, like an expansion team would. And they signed a gentleman, I believe, from Canada, named Reed Duke.
Okay.
Now, he's a young guy. I think he's only 21. I think he's got, maybe 1,000 followers on Twitter. He was I think a professional hockey player. I'm not 100% sure. Whatever. But he's kind of famous, but not super famous. He got signed to this team. So, the thing is, nobody thought that this was... People trying to congratulate this young man on his awesome accomplishment couldn't find him because they just found the other Reed Duke, our Reed Duke, who has 30-some thousand Twitter followers. So people couldn't... He came up first when they searched for Reed Duke on Twitter. They found the Magic player Reed Duke, not this hockey player. So there was like a Reed Duke inception point, and it's just really funny. Okay. And there was like some article from some sports website about how people congratulated the other Reed Duke on being on a hockey team, and he didn't know what was going on. And there's a tweet from Magic player Reed Duke, and it says something like, just got a whole bunch of notifications from the signing of a hockey player, gonna stay off Twitter for a while, or something like that.
Yeah, I remember seeing it.
And it's really funny. But yeah, so in accordance with the overlapping Reed Dukes, we decided to have a little segment today called Almost Famous. And this is gonna be us.
All right, we're gonna do a little clip real quick.
Wait.
Is the online source for your gaming needs.
We're the online source for your gaming needs.
Singles from
Ad
Magic,
break. All right, yeah.
Pokemon,
So during the
Yu-Gi-Oh,
promo,
ad break.
and White Schwartz. We also carry singles
Man, I
for
almost forgot
HeroClix
what I
and
was gonna
Star
say.
Wars Destiny.
I did
free
forget what I was gonna say.
economy shipping
Till
on all orders and responsive customer service,
I'll remember.
you
Give
get
me a
more
sec.
of the game
what up?
hassle-free. Shop KerwinsGameStore.com today
Sure, I'm gonna remember
and
in a
see
second.
why we are the best place in gaming.
That's right.
Oh man, I'm so
Looking
mad.
for
I
fun,
forgot this.
informative Magic the Gathering analysis? Look no further than Kerwin's.
Boom! All right, we got a little time for the plug in there. You want to see yourself?
You did it wrong.
No, I have this up first, so we can show. You always jumping the gun, Kevin Jones. Relax, buddy. Relax. I wanted to show how funny it is that when we pull up Kevin Jones MTG, not only do we get the Bald Daddy, but we get other random people.
We get a score of hilarious things.
So apparently,
Oscar Jones?
looks like you, or
Who is
has some
great,
correlation.
by the way.
I haven't seen him in forever. Did he stop playing?
I don't know, but he was way better than me.
Okay. Mike Sigrist. Obviously, you're correlated to Kevin Jones. One of my favorites, you versus Jim, the brothers in arms here.
Yeah.
Ari.
With the Wasteland. That's
With the
because of
Wasteland.
Legacy Champs.
Sure. Gerard. Then,
Dude, this is so great. The people that showed up is so great. El Hoog.
You like how they have this? This is a team photo, but you're not in it.
It's because they're at the GP. Dallas, I think.
Okay. That makes sense. I was going to say, how did they take a shot without you in it? At
Because
first, I thought it was like...
This is at the GP. I was in an open.
I realize that now, but... There's Ari again. Kirks's Delver. Jamie Park. Okay.
Pete Ingram and me at Dallas. Poor Pete getting worked by the daddy.
All right, so let's do something fun here, and let's take away.
Yeah.
Dang. You're not this guy.
Player.
Basketball player, Cleveland.
Here we go. And look, it says like NFL. I don't know. Daughter.
There you are, MTG.
MTG. Snowboarder, pro snowboarder, singer.
Singer.
But this is just Kevin Jonas, right?
I think that's Kevin Jonas. It's close, though.
I'd like to win national. That'd be dope.
Coach arrested.
Yeah.
Is that like 20 years maybe? You got to get the goatee?
No way, man.
No way. You never have the goatee?
Dude, this is like the most Catskill facial hair possible. Like, I will never be a product
Yeah,
of my
I think I've
surroundings.
seen this photo on like the Daily Mail before.
Yeah.
Could you ever have the luscious locks?
Not without some sort of Kevin Live. That's just, I told you if I ever get fired, this is what's gonna happen. Kevin Live. That's it. It's gonna happen.
Holy cow. What is this?
What is
I
that,
care
Maya
deeply
Congressman?
about Kansas and its future. Let's work together to make Kansas a model.
That
for our
is
great
definitely the
nations.
best looking Kevin Jones.
Oh my god.
I can't hold a candle to that guy. Oh man. He looks like the picture that's in a picture frame when you get it from the store.
We need to take this and just like we need to take this and replace the words and just use this Kansas representative and just be like Catskill representative or Kingston with the K. Kingston representative. Make a fake promo for like 4th of July this year.
Look at this, got the old Gop elephant.
Yeah. Jeez. What else do we have? The basketball player is pretty famous. There's also a football player, I think.
Running back for the Detroit Lions.
MySpace photo.
Went to school at Virginia Tech. Was very good.
Here he is. There he is. Okay. Okay. Yep. There, VTech. Got you.
Snowboarder was good when I was a kid. I used to follow some extreme sports like that. I was a skateboarder for a long time, so I followed some snowboarding. There he is. Kevin Jones for Kansas.
Okay.
Kevin.
Make Kansas great again.
Cole Jones.
Holy cow.
Did it say make Kansas great again?
No. That's
Oh, the chat said make Kansas great again.
Look at this kid.
Trevor Simeon. Look at this kid's
Why is
facial
Trevor
expression.
Simeon on there?
There's other ridiculous ones. If you keep going down, it's funnier and funnier. There's me. Drag Me Down, covered by Kevin Jones. That's not me. Got me again.
Who's this?
Got me in the Current Game Star article.
Healthcare? Is this Mr. Rogers?
Healthcare.utah.edu.
Holy
There's
cow.
a professor at University of Utah, maybe.
Kevin Jones. Come on now.
What else do we got here? It gets weirder.
We're starting to
and
get...
weirder.
Okay, it's getting a little weird now.
No, it gets so
What
much
is
weirder
this?
if you keep going. I went way down. Oh, I went down into the MTG one, and it got weirder too.
Holy
It was
cow.
like
This
Michael
guy's
Jordan,
from the X-Men
LeBron
movie,
James.
right?
It got so weird. There you see Only Girl for Me by Kevin Jones.
Why is this kid in an orange jumpsuit?
He was probably a bad Kevin Jones. He looks like he's from Beyond Scared Straight. Which my girlfriend loves, and we
Oh
were
my
watching that
God.
the other day.
Of course. Yeah, all right.
All right, so let's do Dan Ward now. First Dan Ward MTG, then Dan Ward, like last time. So that was a fun exercise in how famous we are.
It's kind of cool, though, that you came up, like, right here on the MTG.
Yeah.
Whoa. Whoa, we got some old photos here. Max Mitchell, Rap Stuff, Lil Dicky, and Action Bronson.
So good.
Look at me, the old brute force, man. Shout out to
Look
Sean
how
Johnson
young
and the
you
Cali
look.
crew.
You really look like me. in
No
this
results? Damn, Phil getting them. Yeah, I do look super young here. Look at this, like no facial hair or whatever.
picture. Look at your like MySpace selfie.
That's a Twitter.
I know.
And I'm wearing this jacket.
I
And
know.
you know where I was?
Airport somewhere, right?
Nope. That's a background to a Magic card.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think this was actually a
Pro
Pro
Tour?
Brussels
Yeah.
or something.
Did someone just get Biaggi got timed out?
Biaggi!
What did he do?
I don't know. He got timed out.
He just said 5 things that were uncalled for.
We're gonna take a timeout for you. Andre got wrecked. So we got Ed, Am I, the little team thing. Max. Max is great. Okay.
Kazuyuki Takamura, right?
Yeah. He crushed me in the Pro Tour that he won. We played early on day 2, and he just didn't lose a match after he beat me.
Dan Lanthier, Rob Burney, Ben Whites, right?
Where's Dan Muster? We have a thing, me, Dan Muster, talk about all the time who the third best Dan is.
Nathan Holiday.
Holiday's Gas. Florentine Koch crushed me.
With what, a fracturing gust?
Yes. Ooh, look at this photo. The top 8 of the WMCQ. Little daddy right here.
Bunch
Finishing
of good-looking
strong.
guys in there.
Yeah, look, Sam's got his eyes closed. Do you see that?
Sam was like, I can't believe that idiot in front of me gave me the draw when we were up a game. Or when I was up a game.
That's
Which
true.
I did, by the way. Andrew
Oh,
Cuneo.
Team Dex. Bolivolo!
Bolevo!
We got the guest sighting on here. Okay. We got a Seattle.
It's Cassius Marsh.
You're here.
That's Cassius Marsh, man.
Yeah.
That's
You're
he's
in
a Magic
here.
player.
My teammate for GP San Antonio, one of them. Gary Wong. Kenji, okay. Art. Me and Artie top 8'd my first Grand Prix ever in Phoenix and then played my first Pro Tour ever at Origins. We got some GHG love right here. Nice, nice.
That's Steve OMS and Jamie Park, right?
Yeah, and Mr. Finkel
And
himself.
Johnny Magic. Corey Burkhart.
Okay, we got some random, looks like somebody in school in the class. We got a UFC fight.
Okay.
Hey, appreciate the host, Immortal. Thanks a lot.
We're getting hosted all over the place.
Yeah, this is kind of crazy. Breaking and entering. Okay.
Yeah.
Adam Jensen. We got a deck tech
It's the
here.
second time Adam Johnson showed up.
I can, like...
Majors.
Get majors.
Oh, they crushed you with Sphinx's tutelage.
Yeah, that still hurts. Michael, your hair is great, though, so I can take it.
Look at him. He looks so small.
He's great.
The years have...
And he crushed.
He's
crushed it.
aged a lot in these past couple of years.
What is going on? Donald Trump? Raptor? How does Raptor get on there? I guess MTG just get it on there.
Yo, it got MTG... Kevin Jones MTG got real weird. It was Michael Jordan, LeBron James. It was all weird stuff. I know that guy. I think I know that guy.
I don't know. Do you know this guy, the kid?
I don't know that guy.
Holy cow, this is crazy.
I think I went to college with that guy.
Look at Gary's hair. It's like froze. Look at that. That's like the official freeze. I need
That's
to
a
like
stare,
send it
man.
for this. That is a stare. All right, so
Oh,
let's
it's
go.
me.
Where?
I intercepted you. Yeah,
You
go
said
up.
it's-
I
nice.
intercepted your...
I thought you said there's Owen.
There's
I thought you
Owen.
said that was Ian. I was like, what?
No, it does look like Ian.
I was like, what's going on here?
Oh, we're living.
All
now,
right,
okay,
here we
now
go.
Here comes the craziness.
All I'm saying is swimwear.
Chat, I knew it was going to happen when we did this because we did this to make sure that nothing really, really crazy happened. We did this beforehand to make sure that it wasn't like porn or anything like that. So, I knew it was going to happen. And the answer was a lot of like bathing suit shots of guys in Speedos.
So is it me or just like we don't see anybody in like mug shots yet?
It's cool that I came up along the top in MTG, and when we Googled Dan Ward, you didn't come up anywhere. That makes me happy.
That's true.
You
However,
said we wanted to feed my ego. Oh no, there you are.
there I
You're
am.
the first
I'm way
page.
closer. Way closer. Who's this? I don't know. Kind of want to know. There
Is it Owen?
What?
That looks like
Owen's
Owen.
dad.
Owen, yeah, I don't know.
Holy cow! This looks like Rob Pisano without a facial hair. Oh man, porn star Dan Ward, Andrea. Jeez.
Where's the bathing suit photos?
There's
There
a
we
ton
go.
up here.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I wish. That'd be gas. Harry Rosen.
If you looked like that,
Yeah, that'd be gas.
you look like that guy if he had his clones like hugging him from the side, like just 2 extra hips on that guy.
Okay, I'll take that as a compliment, I guess. Oh man. Yeah, so this is kind of ridiculous. There's just a ton of swimsuit pics and rugby players. So
And you.
Dan. Oh, that's kind of cool.
And is this you?
No, but it should be. Ward's Corner. Reform Metal. What?
I thought that was you, but it's
No,
not. It's,
no.
it's Army, not Navy.
Fire. I apparently wrote a book.
Dude, this is funny.
Straight lines seldom make for interesting journeys. Okay. Weddings and love.
Straight lines seldom make for interesting journeys. Below that is a picture of a Speedo.
Rugby is gas. Oh my goodness. All right, this was fun.
All right, I've reached my guys in Speedos quota for the
Yeah,
day.
we're over that. We're over
All right. That
All
was
right.
fun, though. That was a nice
So-
little exercise in social media.
Yeah,
on
definitely.
internet.
Let's talk about what's going on this weekend. So I'll pull up a little clip here. Boop. Pull up Jersey. This is where we're headed. We talked about our decks.
Mm-hmm.
What should people be prepared for this weekend going to New Jersey? Besides not clean air.
I think a pretty decent sized turnout, maybe 16 to 1,800, maybe upwards of 2,000 people.
Okay.
This GP was well attended last spring.
Someone
it's a
did
pretty
well there.
good location. Utah baited.
That's right. That was the humble brag, Dab. Oh my God. Yeah, that is a quote of the day. Kevin Jones, his quota. There's a large threshold for that, and we
Yeah,
definitely
it was
reached
it
Between
took
the
a
show
while
and
to get
prepping
there,
for the
but we
show
got there, and then we boiled over pretty
and-
quickly, and I was like, all right, this
and
is
we're
enough
there.
of this.
Any good food spots for Grand Prix New Jersey?
Yeah, but we got to take a little bit of a hike, right? It's at the Meadowlands.
Yeah.
Well, there's a Wild Wings right, like walking distance.
That's
I
true.
love me some Wild Wings.
I haven't had Wild Wings in a while. actually.
I think that The real best thing is like the grease trucks, Rutgers, but that's like half an hour away.
Sure.
It's a New Jersey original. I don't know, man. You could go to Katz's in New York City. It's like a short ways away.
Sure.
It's like a famous deli. If you have a day, if you want to spend your Friday or whatever or a Monday doing it because of flight times and stuff, yeah, there's lots of stuff. You can get to New York and back in like 40 minutes or so, public transit. I don't know. They don't have food trucks or anything like that, right?
Yeah, I actually don't think it's going to be as attended as you feel. I feel it's going to be a little bit less. We're not going to have a lot of the European players coming over because there is
Barcelona right?
happening this weekend, and there's also a Star City event. We have a Modern Open in Dallas. So there you go. We'll answer that right now. No, we are not going to Dallas. We'll both be in New Jersey.
It's an SCG, not a GP anyway. We're both going to be in New Jersey.
Yeah, so the SCG for Modern, I'm kind of glad I'm not playing Modern this weekend. I'm kind of like up against it, and I've been thinking about a lot of stuff, like the team segment. We're waiting for the banning announcement to come out. And so with the banning announcement, I kind of want to see what they're going to do, if they do anything. And we're talking like they could be shaking up Standard before the Pro Tour.
Yep.
They could be shaking up Modern soon. And a lot of what we were preparing for as far as the team Grand Prix and just Modern Grand Prix and Modern events in general, I don't really want to put a lot of time into a deck and then, not necessarily my deck changes, but the other decks change, so then everything changes. It's like weird how like you can just be like sitting at your house doing nothing, but as the world changes around you, you kind of have to change with it.
Oh, like if your deck gets banned?
No. Like, let's say your deck doesn't get banned. Your deck's great. Your deck. But all the other decks change.
Then you have to change.
Then
yeah,
you have
sure.
to change
I
as
got
well.
you. MGG said 3 people were going to New Jersey and 3 people were going to the SCG. That's true, but none of those 3 people going to either event are me. Spoiler alert, I'm not in the 6 people. That's why you weren't understanding what we were saying. But yeah, they are doing that. And they're leaking their whole team and everything, so you guys should check it out. It's really cool. It's awesome. The team members are all way, way cooler than I could ever be. So there's also that. It's pretty great.
How cool would it be if they just banned Constrictor, Cat, and Gideon? And they said, you know what? You know what, pros? You think you're all cool with your haircuts and your nice little signing bonuses?
Yeah.
We're going to make you work this time. And we're not going to have 2 weekends of SCG. We're going to have 1. And you're going to have to just figure it out. Wouldn't that be cool? They can bring it back after the Pro Tour. But I mean, just for the Pro Tour. Wouldn't that be sweet? Because I think, like, the cat lady's most likely to be banned.
Cat is going
I think those are the 3 cards, and, like, people would not be able to complain because all of the top decks would be hit. And, like, Black-Green's fine without Constrictor. I think, like, it's a playable deck. Just some of the cards
Is
are...
Black-Green too good if they banned Gideon and Feldar Guardian?
Maybe. Like, what's keeping it in check right now? It's supposed to have a good Mardu matchup, which, to be honest with you, the way that it's had to shift its deck, I don't even know if that's true.
Yeah, it sometimes is and sometimes isn't.
And 4-color, it's supposed to be 4-color is supposed to be, favored in
good
that matchup.
against it. And
exactly.
It is favored against it. I was beating it, but
Blue red emerge. Oh my god. Blue red emerge. Then maybe Marvel would be the best. Who knows? We would have a little shift.
maybe. But why is Marvel more okay? Like if Marvel is
Just
like
Marvel's-
marveling into Ulamog is an acceptable thing that you're allowed to do. Why is Cat combo not acceptable?
I don't know.
Like
Because
marveling into
there is
Ulamog
a-
is also stupid.
Because this is what I'm saying. With playing the Marvel deck, there is a percentage of fail rate. With playing the 4-color Saheeli deck, the way that it is currently constructed, and it's progressed over the last couple weeks, it's turned into there is no fail rate. There's I'm going to drive down this road and stop for a little bit, or I'm just going to keep driving.
Yeah.
When you play Marvel, you drive down the road and sometimes hit a pothole and your tire falls off.
No, you drive down the road with no brakes at 200 miles an hour.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
you hope that there's a litany of mattresses at the end of the road to catch
A
you.
litany. There's never enough mattresses. Let's
There's
be honest.
never enough mattresses. You could unban Copter. That'd be cool.
Yeah, ban Heart, unban Copter.
Don't do that.
Imagine they did that. Reflector Mage
Don't
coming
do
back.
any more dumb things, please.
Emrakul should come back, though.
Emrakul is no. Emrakul's too good.
If Emrakul ever comes back, I'll be surprised.
Emrakul is almost okay, though.
You know
Like,
what's kind of funny?
The alternative is like all these crazy combos and just Snake with a million counters, which is like fair but barely, and then like
Should be happening in a week. I
Gideon
believe.
and Hardy Kieran are like not really fair either.
You know what's kind of funny about Emrakul?
What's that?
He's not only he's no longer the promised end. He's just the end. It's over.
Yeah, Emrakul.
Oh my god. Yeah, I think the bannings come out next week. I think Monday. I'm not 100%.
The banning
on that.
update, the emergency quote unquote update, the one that they instilled in the previous announcement, is March 13th, which is the day after GP New York or GP New Jersey.
So let's play Grizzly Bears and Hill Giants. Yeah, I'm down with that.
I mean, I'm down with them making everything but like Spirits unplayable, so I can just play Spirits. Because Spirits is very, very bad. Very bad.
Yeah.
It's like 30% against the field. It's very bad. But if you banned everything else, I could play Spirits. And that'd be cool. Because Nebelgast Herald is sweet.
Spirits could make a comeback.
I
That
don't
could
think
be
it could.
that could be a card
I
that
think they'd have to ban everything else for it to make a comeback.
that could be a card that just like actually does well this weekend. Spell Queller.
Maybe.
I know Brian DeMars was talking about like different Mardu lists, bringing it out of the board and having it versus some of these decks. I think it's just interesting that it's something that we haven't seen a lot of Spell Queller in a while, so it'd be
Why
interesting
is
to see.
Mardu healthy? Why is Gideon Heart of Kieran healthy? I don't know what metric you're using to measure things. Gideon Heart of Kieran is very, very oppressive.
Okay.
To the same tune that, I mean, not quite as oppressive as a 2-card combo, because in a 2-card combo, that's not supposed to be in standard. That's crazy. But equally, like, much more oppressive than something like Marvel, which I also think is borderline too good. Like, the things they're printing right now, like, what they're doing, they're just like, hey, we're just going to print really broken stuff and hope that, like, it's okay. You know? We're just going to print broken stuff, and if it's too broken, we're just going to ban it because there is no rules anymore saying that we need to print things that are balanced.
Sure.
They're just going to print stuff, they're going to throw it into, like, this pot, and they're going to make a spicy gumbo of broken magic cards, and they're just going to ban it. They're going to be like, you can't put sausage in your gumbo anymore, but you still have to make gumbo. And then people are just going to try, and they're just going to break it again. And it's going to be chicken gumbo that time, and it's going to be equally as good and equally as oppressive, and they're just going to ban that too. It's just how Modern works. It's how everything
You know what
works.
I want to go back to? I want to go back to Draconic Roar and Thunderbreak Region.
You know,
These
stuff
cards-
there was too good too.
What was
Maybe
good?
not. Jace?
Jace?
Oh my god.
No.
Dig Through Time?
Dig Through Time, okay, was a little annoying. But, I mean, I just want to, like, kill creatures and then play dragons.
Siege? Rhino?
Well, yeah, that was obviously good.
Colligan's Command?
But you don't
flip Den Protector,
die.
get back Siege Rhino?
You don't die to Siege Rhino. You die to the third Siege Rhino.
Yeah.
Or the fourth
But
Siege
the
Rhino.
first Siege Rhino was too good.
Just think about
Stealth
Feldar
of Flames
Guardian
is
with
broken.
Siege Rhino.
So I have two. I have, my soundboard is not really ranged that high. I can basically, yeah, that's another broken card. Rally the Ancestors. Collected Company is actually the broken card. But anyway, so I can make this noise when the boat comes into play, and I make this noise when the Rhino comes into play. But because I'm not really good at noises and impressions and stuff, they're just the same noise. So when someone plays a Siege Rhino, I'm just like, when someone plays a boat, I'm just like,
Jesus, for the rhinos everywhere. The rhinos in the world.
love with the cocoa.
So, I guess the most interesting thing that I'm kind of like looking forward to seeing from SCG Dallas is the Death Shadow aggro deck now has had a couple weeks to, you know, introduce itself to the meta. And I'd like for this tournament to kind of show if it's strictly the best deck or if people are starting to adapt to the format, and if now that more people are playing it, we're going to see results that just are traditional to Modern.
I think it's been cool. Oh, Modern. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about Standard.
Yeah, Death Shadow and Standard. Wouldn't that
Oh,
be
Death
fun?
Shadow. I didn't hear you say Death Shadow, but you're right. So, brief aside, I played Modern this past weekend.
Okay.
It was the 5K up in Massachusetts. TJ Collectibles 5K. So I played this 5K on Saturday, and I played Death Shadow Grixis Delver. And my record at the time that I dropped was 1 win and 3 losses.
Sure.
I lost to Red White Prison,
Nice.
Mono Blue Tron.
Okay.
I beat Lantern because the guy said, quote, I would rather sell my foil Japanese Liliana of the Veil right now than play another round. So then he conceded to me and went and did that.
Okay.
Which I said, you can just do it after you beat me. It's not that big of a deal. And he's just like, no, I want to do it now. And then he conceded to me and dropped and left.
Yeah.
Whatever. And then I played the Mirror, but, just regular Grixis Delver. And we ran out of time. We would have drawn, so I conceded to him because I didn't want to play Magic anymore. I thought 1 and 3 was a good time to retire. And I did. And then on Sunday, I played like the 3K or whatever it was, 2K side event. I played regular Grixis Delver, fixed my deck,
Sure.
and I didn't lose a round.
Gotcha.
Took the whole thing down, got some sweet TCG player prize wall points, and, some money and stuff, so that was cool.
Fantastic.
So
So you didn't like the Death Shadows in the Delver list?
I think I just got a weird subsection of the format, honestly.
Okay.
Because I think it would have been fine against Jund stuff. But it was not good against the decks I played against. I played against Chalice of the Void on 1. I played against Oblivion Stone, Wrath of God,
Oblivion Stone you got to kind of be ready for.
Ensnaring Bridge. These are things that I could never
These are fun
beat.
cards. These are interactive Magic cards.
These are things that you might sometimes be able to beat with regular Grixis Delver. I didn't play Young Pyromancers. I played Vendilion Click and a main deck Liliana the Last Hope. That was
Okay.
sweet.
Dijon, we're not going to be at GP New Jersey. The first one. We'll be at the one later this year in December vending. So look out for us then. You know how sad it's going to be when I come back from GP San Antonio and I'm just like bemoaning the fact that I played Tron like 5 times probably?
Are you going to play Boggles?
No. Maybe. Probably not.
It's Team Modern, right?
Team Modern.
Team
I
Unified?
don't think so. I like Boggles, but I don't know if
There's
it's playable in
Another
format.
SCG Team Constructed event in May.
Does it overlap with any GPs?
I don't know.
Are you trying to rope me in here?
No, my team's already locked in. Brad Carpenter and Harlan Fuhrer.
Okay.
The team.
Nice duo.
The team
All
that
right.
couldn't day 2 last time, so we're going to run it back.
You might as well. If it doesn't overlap with the Grand Prix, I'm going to try to make it. I really, and we'll see by
Really sweet
playing
tournaments.
the first team constructed here in San Antonio. I'm looking forward to that.
Ooh, Blessed Alliance is pretty good against Boggles.
Yeah. Bant Eldrazi just kills me. And then Eldrazi Tron also has everything that Tron has except Chalice as well. So
Yeah.
I don't know how I'd ever beat those decks. So, all right. Well, we're going to send everybody off for this weekend with a funny little video that I didn't show anybody yet. And I just want to say, first, thanks a lot to everybody listening to the show this week. Really appreciate it. Thanks for the follows. Keep letting us know how we're doing. And hopefully we're getting better each week. Take a look at our website if you need anything gaming related between cards, sleeves, decks, boxes, and as always, our free content. We got a commercial on here for the GHG if you're not, known about what that is. Gamers Helping Gamers. We've got John Finkel on here. He's kind of explaining what the charity's about, and we're hosting on April 1st a huge 2K Modern tournament here where 100%
Should be
of the
sweet.
proceeds are
We'll be
going
there.
directly to the charity. So kind of excited for that. And with that, let's close the show with a little daddy. As always, that's Kevin Jones, the master of the Manus Rider. And you can't teach that.
That's Dan Ward. He's 6'6", and you can't teach that.
We'll be back in 2 weeks. Be here, because we're coming back, and we're going to be really good after GP New Jersey. One of us may have a trophy. Not going to be quite sure.
We'll see.
And one of us may be sad because Cat's gone. You'll just have to come back to see him do the dance. That's all I can say. Because he got it from his daddy. Later, y'all.
Looking for fun, informative Magic the Gathering analysis? Look no further than KerwinsGameStore.com. Team KGS has the best writers and content providers this side of Kaladesh. Whether you're looking for standard, modern, vintage, tournament reports, or deck techs, Team KGS will give you the insight and analysis to help with your Magic game. Check out KerwinsGameStore.com weekly for new videos and articles and see why KGS is the best place in gaming.